This is Doug.
Is this the incredible Doug?
This Tim. You got him.
Hey, Doug. Welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you doing, sir?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Just trying to make a living.
Hey, you're kind of a big deal around these parts. Jason Beasley, what we talk about Doug often in our meetings.
Yeah, often.
He's an implementer.
He is an implementer.
He's a diligent doer. You've coached with a lot of great clients. Seriously, how rare is it that somebody implements as fast as Doug? I mean, you feel like he's in the top 10%, top 1%? I mean, really, there's no possible good way you could answer this because many of your other clients listen to the show. But what do you think? He's in the top 1%? What do you think?
I would say he's definitely in the top 10% of all of our clients as implementers. But Doug, hold on. It wasn't Doug. He's definitely in the top 1% as far as implementing contractors go.
It's unbelievable. So Doug, you've grown. Tell us about the name of your company and when you started your business.
Sure. Metal Roof Contractors. We're in Edmond, Oklahoma. Business started towards the end of 1998. And so brother and sister owned it, got to know the family, and was a structural engineer before, looking for an opportunity, and bought the company, or I owe them a lot of money, in 2016.
Got it.
And that's where we're at now. So working on year number 5 here.
And what's the name of your company one more time? I know a lot of our listeners will look it up. What's the name of your company?
Metal Roof Contractors.
And what's your website?
It's metalroofcontractorsok.com.
Okay, great. And so how did you first hear about our merry group of manly men and wonderful women? How did you first hear about the business consulting and coaching that we do?
Saw Clay Stairs. We're a member of a local subcontractors group, just subcontractors in Oklahoma.
Got it.
American Subcontractors Association. Clay Stairs came out to speak to our group, and just really, it struck a chord with me, kind of the things that he had to say. Just basically you can run a business and someday run it from the beach, and this is how you get there. So really kind of struck a chord with me. Liked what he had to say, thought he was a genuine person, and so that's kind of where it started. That was about 2 years ago now.
So we're going in rapid fire here now. How much have you grown since meeting Mr. Clay Stairs as a percentage?
So as a percentage, we were typically around the $6 million to $6.5 million dollars a year.
Got it.
And so the first year that we were with them, we ended about $7 million. Last year we were about $7.5 million, and I think this year we're projecting to do over $8 million.
Wow!
So,
this just in. That's some growth. That's some growth right there, Jason. This just in. That's some growth. Woo! Now, have you had an adversity-free existence during these past couple years? Has life been easy for you in all areas?
I'm generally a pretty positive, optimistic guy. So, I feel happy. I feel like we're doing it, but had many bumps along the way. It's hard to remember. We got 4 little kids, and we just look forward to the next day. So, but we have had some adversity.
Okay, but I'm not asking, I'm not going to press into the specific details, but I mean, you've had some challenging stuff you had to work through during this time, right? I mean, you can't just focus 100% of your time on just business.
Yeah, so like I said, we got 4 little kids. We've got a baby, and our oldest daughter, which, looking back on it, it's pretty emotional. And it's about the time that we started with Clay Stairs. So it was April of 2018 that our oldest daughter was diagnosed with leukemia. Really didn't know anybody else, any other kids. The cancer, all that was very foreign to us. And so that was a really scary time. and I had the business. My wife April, she was pregnant with our fourth, and so that was in April. We had started with clay back in March, and so really had hit the pavement and had already started implementing some systems, and so really had I was in a much better place at that time than what I would have been without it, and so having that organization, having those systems was really critical to us really functioning as a business. And so just last month, as a matter of fact, she did excellent. Treatment went great. Her treatment's over. She's had her port taken out, and we're actually going to the lake in a couple of weeks. That'll be the first time that she can get in lake water since April of 2018.
Well, I mean this sincerely on behalf of everybody here at the Thrive Time Show. We are cheering for you. I mean, I know you've been through a lot, and I'm glad that you can be on here as a success story. But I ask people this because, a lot of people will say to me, Clay, man, I was going to grow my business, and then this bad thing happened. And then I'll usually play the one-upsmanship game. I'll go, okay. When I first was starting out my DJ business, my best friend who I would do all my gigs with, he got killed in a car accident. And they go, I did not know that. Yeah. And I said, I'm not trying to obsess on it. I'm just telling you, sometimes things happen, And then they're like, yeah, but a couple of years ago, I got broken into. And I said, I was building my DJ business. I had a bunch of equipment stolen multiple times. They go, well, because we all want to live in an adversity-free world. And although losing equipment isn't like losing a person or having your daughter or son get ill, we all have to push through that. Not without empathy, but we got to push through. I mean, we got to keep going, and I appreciate you being a testament to doing that. Now, you've also found time to build these systems that have allowed you to replace yourself, specifically a lot of checklists, a lot of processes.
Right.
Talk to me about the power of checklists and processes for the listeners out there that maybe haven't taken the time yet to build those for their company.
Yeah, well, I think everybody's been in the place where you've got a task that you've assigned, and you know how it works yourself, and you can see how it works, and you assign that task, and you kind of play that game of follow-up, and where are you at, what are you doing, and it doesn't turn out to how you think it should be, or it doesn't meet your standard. And so that was really kind of the inspiration of and getting to, this is what I want. And I struggle with sometimes communicating that verbally. And so having the checklist is something that you can write down specifically exactly what you're thinking, what you're saying. And then you've got a chance for feedback. And so 2 years ago, it was very overwhelming. Everything could be a system, and I have nothing. And so just starting a couple at a time, getting the ball rolling, it's very liberating. It's conversations that you feel like you've had 12 times with the same person. Well, now you can write it down on paper, and they can bring up that conversation anytime they want. And so going through that, and even then, once you've got the culture of having a system, other people, specifically the ones that like having what they need to do on paper, they'll start writing their own systems. So it's really kind of establishing a culture of systems.
Establishing a culture of
great.
systems.
We're not there yet, almost, but.
Yeah, and Jason, on a very practical level,
yeah.
I mean, how often do you have a client who shows up to the program without systems, without processes? I mean, how often do you have somebody who's good at making a product? Maybe they're good at making furniture. They're good at being a dentist. They're good at being a photographer. They're good at farming or running a restaurant. But they're good at making the food, but they're not good at the systems. How often are people needing the checklists and the systems?
Oh, every single time. I mean, even the clients that I have that like, I've been listening to the Thrive Time show for a year before I decided, pull the trigger and become a client.
Yep.
They understand what you are trying to help them to do. But where most business owners kind of get stuck in the doom loop is you start just internalizing it. And so, it's like Clay knows how to coach people. But if Clay were to get hit by a bus tomorrow, nobody else would be able to do the 13-point assessment or the systems the same way that you had you not built it out, because it'd be locked in your head. So for like Doug, he could be God's gift to, metal roofing, but if he never actually wrote down what he did and he had to verbally tell somebody, he'd be playing follow-up over and over again. So, I mean, nobody ever comes correct with those checklists. We have to help them build them.
Now, again, if you're listening to the show, I think a lot of people think, okay, I'm not qualified to be a client because I don't have the systems yet.
No.
Because I'm not big enough yet. Because I'm going through something. But Doug, you hopped in with all these. You needed help in a lot of different areas. You're good at your craft. Can you explain to the listeners what exactly you do? I mean, what products and services does your company, Metal Roof Contractors OK, offer?
Sure. Appreciate it. We offer metal roofs, obviously. But no, we specialize in standing seam metal roof, which is a type of roofing. We do primarily commercial, so larger projects. We'll do a handful of residential projects if it kind of fits us right. But, we like to consult with our customers. And if it's not right for us, then we'll let them know. But a lot of times, the harder the problems are, the worse shape that your existing roof is in, that's really where that's kind of our specialty. So the re-roofs, just the problem roofs, that's where we can help. Whether it's an existing metal roof, any type of metal roof, or an existing flat roof, doesn't really matter. We can find solutions for it.
So if you're going to get somebody's out there and you need a metal roof, and I know you do, check out metalroofcontractorsok.com, metalroofcontractorsok.com. Now, once you get the checklist in order, step 4, you began to add private work to the business model to help with the cash flow. So to help you with the cash flow, what does that mean to help you with the cash flow, and why did it help you to add private work to your business model?
Sure. The private work is so, and another reason, whenever we saw Clay at our ASA event, we were very dependent on bid work, which any commercial contractor can identify with that. So when the bid market or the work is available, which we have zero control over, it's scheduling's great. If it's not available, then you can kind of feel victim to there's just no work out there. So having that private work and being able to grow the private market negotiated work really gives you the control. It lets you turn up the volume. Now, it's taken a year, 2 years, and we still haven't perfected it. But I can see it, I can taste it, that private work, we've got control. We can control how do we get leads, how do we convert leads. And then at that point, with private work, there's just less red tape for us as a commercial contractor. So if we're doing public bid work, we've got architects, we've got school boards, general contractors. There's lots of interference. Whereas on the other hand, we're direct to the customer. It's a roof project. We have control over everything, and that's really that's the freedom. So if we can figure that out, we can grow it, and this place can run without me. That's the idea.
That is the move. That is the dream. Now, folks, again, if you're out there and you are feeling like you don't have what it takes to get this done, I promise you do. But the problem is maybe you need to hear it from a different voice. What would you say, Doug, to somebody out there that says, I love the success that Doug's having. I love the success that Aaron Antis is having. I love the success of Steve Currington, but I just little old me, I just don't have what it takes. What would you say to encourage somebody out there?
It's the great thing about living in America is that all the opportunity is out there, even now in the COVID climate. You just got to work for it. So there's times that I'll be talking out loud to Clay Stairs in our meeting, and I'll think, man, I'm making excuses. I'm feeling sorry for myself. And so you really have to find that motivation to be able to grind. And if you can grind, you can do anything.
If you can grind,
that's kind of how I see it.
I love that. Now, point 5 of what you did here. You consistently implemented the group interview. Now, Jason, you have some great clients you've worked with.
I do.
But how often do you have clients that maybe initially early on they kind of struggle with implementing the group interview? And then I want to get Andrew's take on this as well, because you guys work with great clients on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this. I mean, how often is it initially a little bit of a pushback when you explain to people that they need to interview people every week?
Yeah, especially in the early days, there is a lot of pushback, mainly because people aren't, they either hadn't heard the podcast on it or they're not familiar with it. So you tell them and they're like, "What? No, I don't know if people are going to come to that." And then you try to walk them through that and you get the systems together. And then, week 2, they're still like, "I'm not quite sure," because it's so uncomfortable. It's so new to them that they find it, scary. But of all of my clients that have been able to hire fast and start putting together the systems that they worked so hard to, or starting to utilize the systems that they worked so hard to put together, man, when they start doing that group interview, they start getting people super fast. They get them trained up super quick. And
right.
then they're I guess it's a lot easier and a lot faster for them to kind of take a step back for once.
It allows you to not be held hostage by your people.
Yeah.
I mean, it allows you to be in control. Andrew, think about one of your clients that's really, really implemented the group interview to a level that's given them total time freedom and financial freedom. Just give us one look into one of your clients that's implemented the group interview successfully so far, like Mr. Doug.
Oh, yeah. So one actually just happened today. Tyler Hallblade with Primo Trailers. Just hired another guy because they are killing it. They're selling so many trailers right now. So he, instead of
Do you perceive death to be a good thing, Andrew?
What?
You said they're killing it now.
They're killing it. I mean, yes. Yeah, no.
You're
so
sick. This guy's sick.
Yes. Sorry. So no, Tyler's killing it. He's
You said it again.
He's doing a great job. He's not interviewing people one at a time for an hour each. He's actually sitting down with 20 people at a time. And a lot of people, that freaks him out when you think about standing up. And I mean, I've been able to do it. I've been able to stand in front of a bunch of people and, group interview. And it can be intimidating at first, but and I can see why a lot of people are like, why would I do that? But once you do it and see the benefits, the time freedom you create, the amount of people you can interview at one time, the amount of good candidates you can get a hold of within such a short period of time, the benefits much overweigh the fears.
Doug, I have audio here of this guy, Tyler Hallblade, I believe it is, quote unquote, killing it.
Yeah.
During his group interview.
Yeah.
So let me cue this up.
Is this the recording I gave you?
This is the recording. This could be the right audio.
Okay.
It might be the wrong audio. Who knows, really?
Yeah.
Either way, Andrew gave it to us.
Okay, so
I
let me
did.
hit play. This is, I believe, Tyler Hallblade with what's the name of his company?
It's Primo Trailers.
This is how he does the group interview. Let me cue it up here. Kind of intense music there.
Yeah.
Sounds a lot like Mortal Kombat.
People dancing.
Here we go. Here we go. Sounds a lot like Mortal Kombat.
We have a little
Kinda
break.
awkward how he took a little break there.
Coffee bagels. Yeah. Those are all the not good fits. Don't make it.
Yeah. Andrew, this is not the best practice here.
Oh.
What in the world,
He's
Andrew?
killing it.
You have violent video games here. It's weird.
I have to start calling Andrew COVID-19 because he's sick.
Sorry about that. Oh, hey, that's too
Jason,
soon, but very
stop.
relevant. All right, let's continue. No, hey guys, seriously, I want you to know, I think I might have COVID. I have had a headache, and Doug, have you read the symptoms of COVID now? Have you read the COVID-19 symptoms?
They're all in the back of Pepto-Bismol bottles.
I haven't read all the new ones.
Let me read them to you.
Uh-oh.
This is proof that I might have COVID-19 right now. It says if you have the fever or chills. Well, I'm good now.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous when I was interviewing when Doug picked up the phone, but I had maybe a little bit of the chills. Maybe the goosebumps, but the cough, I'm good there. Shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, I'm fine. Fatigue, though. I think I have fatigue sometimes.
Yeah.
I probably got COVID.
A little tired.
Muscle or body aches? I mean, I think I'm almost 40. Everything hurts. So I got some body aches. That's cool. Headache? I mean, I feel like I get the headache every time I watch the news. Maybe the news causes COVID.
This is true.
Maybe when I watch the news, it causes COVID. It says loss of taste or smell. And I feel like I've got that. You know, when you get a head cold, sometimes I've had that.
I can't smell.
I think that might just be the chain smoking, Andrew.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying. I feel like it says new confusion.
New
confusion.
Not to
You
be
say
confused
new?
with old confusion.
And
Oh,
it says the inability
new.
to wake up or stay awake. Maybe some of the people in the office have had COVID. I mean, what in the
think I
world?
have
Listen to all these symptoms. Says if showing any of these signs, seek emergency medical care immediately.
Doctor, I feel like I'm narcoleptic. Are you sure you don't have COVID?
Unbelievable. Doug, can you believe how many symptoms there are? You might have COVID, Doug.
I have it almost every afternoon.
That's unbelievable. There's so many symptoms. I had no idea there were so many symptoms for COVID. But we continue. We bring up relevant things we're all thinking, but we're gonna keep moving. We're keep pushing through the Doug Yarholer story. Now, Doug, you have now built a strong team around you. You've done that. You've weeded out the bad apples, but you've also stayed consistent on managing your online reputation. Talk to us about the importance of gathering those Google reviews.
Google reviews, kind of like the group interview, was pretty foreign to start. But we've just got our third person who's doing it, and so we've got a pretty solid system. But getting the review, I mean, it's even more than just marketing. Just the people around the office, they like to see the people who sign up and review metal roof contractors. But even the people that we bring in for interviews, they do their research, they look at our website, and they say, man, you guys have great Google reviews. But I would say primarily 90% of our leads coming in are Google reviews. Now, they don't always convert into sales, but there's just kind of an energy that the Google reviews that's hard to even quantify beyond just, it helps you get leads. There's multiple facets that help with the Google reviews.
And I want to make sure listeners get this. I mean, if folks, if you got a call today from Doug's business or you called them to get a quote, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to Google the company, look him up, and decide whether he's the kind of business that you want to do work with. And so we all need to be very intentional about gathering those Google reviews. We have a few more final things that Doug has done very, very well. One, you've implemented the Dream 100 system. You're consistently paying yourself, setting aside money to pay yourself in an automatic millionaire account, which is awesome. You're actually paying yourself first. Guys, how often does a client struggle with the idea of paying themselves first? I mean, Andrew, this is a powerful thing when you take the money that comes in and you take a sliver of that and you pay yourself consistently. Mm-hmm. Talk about why that's so difficult for many entrepreneurs and doctors.
Yeah, it's the last thing most people do, and it's mostly because they've never had enough to pay themselves, or they have never really hammered down and looked at their expenses. There's always something where you can cut. There's always a way where you can pay yourself. And then it's always hard because you feel like you have to give it all back to the business, but the whole point of the business is to serve you, and you're not serving you at all if you're not, reaping any sort of benefits from it at all. So, I mean, if you don't pay yourself first, then there's probably shut down the business or find a way to pay yourself.
Doug, rumor has it you now have become a swanky yuppie, and you now attend a country club. Is that correct, sir?
Ooh.
Swanky.
That is correct.
Really?
That is correct. And I mean, that's, at least for me, your focus is so much on the business and the cash flow and having cash that's kind of the last thing you think about is, what do I need to pull out? But like I said before, having the 4 kids, babies, really it'd be hard to be where I'm at without my wife. And she's been awesome, great person, and that's kind of her. So the business demands a lot of my time, And so she's got a lot of time with 4 little people, and especially in this Corona environment, the country club has been just a great outlet for her also, and has really been something that we've been able to enjoy.
Doug, I have audio of you golfing. I hope you don't mind that I was put a shotgun mic on you while you were golfing. But Doug actually has become so good at golf now. He started to mentor this young man named Danny. That's what you do. Once you learn the skills, you typically want to teach others. I'm going to cue up the audio. This is allegedly Doug training a young boy by the young man by the name of Danny. Let me cue up the audio here. This is impressive.
I like you, Betty.
It's Denny, sir.
Danny. I'm going to give you a little advice. There's a force in the universe that makes things happen. And all you have to do is get in touch with it. Stop thinking. Let things happen. And be the ball. Danny? Danny?
Sir?
Where's the wedge?
Right here, sir.
Thank you, Danny. Find your center. Hear nothing. Feel nothing.
That was kind of incredible, sir.
You try it, Danny.
Pardon me?
Pardon you? Here.
Blindfolded golfing. This is amazing that Doug has gotten so good.
know.
I know.
He can put a blindfold on. Now he's putting the blindfold on Danny. Danny's got a red hat
Just
on.
relax.
He's going to be hitting the ball over the
Find
water.
your center. Picture the shot, Danny.
Picture the shot.
Picture it. Turn off all the sound. Just let it happen. Be the ball. Be the ball, Danny. You're not being the ball, Danny.
Well, it's kind of difficult with you talking like that.
Okay, I'm not talking. Stop talking. I'm not talking now. Where'd it go?
That's impressive, Doug. I mean, you've really improved your game.
True.
You've become a mentor. It's really impressive. Final question I have for you. Then I'll
I
let
still
you.
got a long ways to do that.
Well, final question I have before I let you get back to being great is what encouragement would you have for the listeners out there that are they're wanting to grow their business by 20% too? What encouragement would you have for them?
Oh, what encouragement. Like I said, I think it's people in that position. There's a reason they're in that position. There's a reason that they took on all the risk. And so you just have to harness that reason and have a goal and go get it. And that's the hardest thing is, and even talking to some of my buddies, not everybody is like that. I'd say most people are not like that. And, you're just in normal conversation and people want to climb the ladder, but they want to do it from 8 to 5. And that's not going to happen. And so just knowing that, well, if I can get my work done from 4 to 8 before everybody else starts, then I can do it. I can be ahead. And so it doesn't come easy, and I'm not there yet, but that's how you get there. And so for me, I see a path, and I know I'm going to get there. It's just going to take some time.
Doug, we appreciate you so much. Thank you for being on the Thrive Time Show, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, sir.
Hey, no problem. Thanks, guys.
My name is Sean Clark, and I've worked with Clay Clark for about a year now. I would describe Clay's the experience with Clay as something that is really unique and phenomenal. Just the systems and processes that they have in place, they help you put in place, has been real instrumental in helping us grow our business. It's been real phenomenal growth this year. The weekly meeting helps you stay on track, again, to follow the systems and processes that Clay puts in place. For me personally, I enjoy the weekly meetings. It's kind of like a shot in the arm of adrenaline. Just want to go out there and get after it and work hard and get things done. As far as action items that Clay and his team has provided for us, it's action items as far as getting Google reviews, following up with our leads, just the systems, again, that every day grind of doing the same thing over and over and being consistent. I would say personally for me, I would say that I would recommend Clay and Thrive 15 to anyone. I think what makes Thrive 15 so unique is that not only are they your business coach, but I truly feel like a sense of a partnership there. So I truly feel like Clay and his team are a partner in your business to help you grow that business and want you to succeed.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah. So here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months. Or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with. So.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. That they taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline, but that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985. I established my practice here in Tulsa in 1985.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Crockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours where he does these tours all across the country where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy. Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company or, navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for 3 months and you have $350,000 of bills you've got to pay, and we have no accounts receivable. He helped us navigate that, and of course we were conservative enough that we could afford to take that on for a period of time. But it was anyways, great man. I'm very impressed with him. So Clay, thank you for everything you're doing, and I encourage you, if you haven't ever worked with Clay, work with Clay. He's going to help magnify you, and there's nobody I have ever met that has the ability to work as hard as he does. He probably sleeps 4, maybe 6 hours a day, and literally the rest of the time he's working, and he can outwork everybody in the room every single day, and he loves it. So anyways, this is Charles Cola with Cola Fitness. Thank you, Clay, and anybody out there that's wanting to work with Clay, it's a great opportunity to ever work with him. So you guys have a blessed one. This is Charles Cola. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
Okay, we got you.
So I can close my phone down.
Yep, let's close the phone down. Okay, you got it?
Okay. I got it. There we go.
May the interrogation begin. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and. Well, I know that many of you may consider coming to one of our in-person workshops or becoming a one-on-one business coaching client. But before you decide to take action and to invest the time in doing a free 13-point assessment with me or investing the time to come to one of our in-person workshops, I thought you should hear directly from one of our longtime clients who's had a lot of success so he can share with you about his experience. So without any further ado, Charles Ulrich, welcome onto the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks.
So, Charles, I got to ask you, how did you originally hear about the business coaching services that I provide, sir?
I was listening to podcasts on iHeartRadio on my 3.5-hour commute back and forth to my business in another state.
And so people can prove that your business is real. What's the name of your company, or what's the website people can go to learn more about it?
CannonPumps.com.
CannonPumps.com. And what kind of services and products do you provide?
We provide a specialized slick line concrete pumping service along the Wasatch Front and Southeast Idaho, and have for a lot of years.
And so when you reached out to us, were you looking to grow the business, or what had you initially decided to reach out about attending a conference or the in-person or the one-on-one business coaching?
I had just hit a brick wall. I had lost key people. It was back down to just me after years, and I did not know what to do with my business and was struggling to put the skill set together and the desire to grow it and do anything else with it. And so I was just looking for answers, some answers.
And from the time that you reached out and scheduled that 13-point assessment to now, how much have you grown, sir?
At least 200%, probably.
Wow. So you're saying your company has doubled in size?
Yes, at least.
At least, you think maybe more than doubled, or?
Yes.
Now, when we do a weekly call with you, we like to cover the core, repeatable, actionable processes. You know, the reason why Dr. Robert Zellner and I have a lot of success in business is that we're both rigorous and very disciplined about following proven systems. And so a big key component, I would say the key component of what we do, is we have a weekly call that's designed to provide you with practical operational help for your business. How do those weekly calls help you steer the ship?
They make me focus on my business, and they help me to remember the fundamentals. We're always being asked, what about this fundamental? What about this fundamental? How is this problem being resolved? How is this problem being resolved? And over time, you look forward to the meeting because it forces you to resolve any issues you have and work through them with proven solutions.
Yep, because it forces you to push through those problems and achieve success. I love it. Now, I got to ask you this: how do the weekly calls? How have they helped you with your sales process?
Well, a lot. We run our business for 25 years on our original Dream 100, and we didn't have much more than that, so we were very limited. And so one of the first things we did was, of course, Google and the reviews. And now our schedule is full of non-regular customers. I don't have a set of 6 customers dictating my whole business. I have a set of 150 customers dictating my business.
Now, again, if you were to take those calls out of your life and not have those weekly meetings, what do you think would happen to the level of success that you've achieved? Because, behind the scenes, we're optimizing the website, we're running your ads, we're making sure we're tracking all the numbers. What would happen if you took the calls out, you think?
man, it would just be a slow implosion. Not really even that slow. It would just be, there's just so much ground covered in that you can't, it would be hard to, for me as a business owner and involved in the business, it would be hard for me to replace that, even with people, time, money. The resources would be just hard to grasp, let alone implement it and be able to do a working system to have somebody do any of it.
Now, Dr. Robert Zellner and I in our companies, what we like to do is we like to keep our meetings as short as possible, meaning we want to cover what we need to cover, and then we want to get back to business, probably in the way that you like to pump concrete as quickly as possible and then move on to something else. And I think a lot of people maybe don't quite understand that idea. Again, we block out an hour every week for that meeting, but it doesn't need to take an hour. Can you maybe explain why it's important to have that meeting, regardless of whether it takes an hour or 20 minutes or whatever the time length is?
It helps you keep us focused on the core fundamentals of what we're doing. If we don't have that, pretty soon we're going sideways and we're worried about things that don't matter as much. You've identified the things that we need to focus on, and that meeting, no matter how long it is, helps bring us back and forces us to look at those numbers, our revenue numbers, our reviews numbers, our leads numbers. Are we converting? All of that stuff, it forces us to look at the information that nobody wants to look at on their own.
Now, within our coaching program, we only work with 160 clients. And so, sometimes you might work, if you're a listener out there, you might work with me. I work with 15 clients. You might work with Carter. You might work with Devin. You might work with Andrew. You might have worked with Marshall. You might have worked with Eric. You might have worked with, there's so many wonderful people that we've had a chance to mentor over the years. And inevitably the question gets asked, well, how could your coach possibly help me if he's not a concrete expert? I want to ask you, how have the coaching calls helped you with your interviewing process and to know what to look for in a job applicant, even though your particular coach, Andrew, is not a concrete quote unquote expert?
Just because you're an expert in concrete doesn't mean you're a business owner. So Andrew brings a vast knowledge of all these other clients, and so can answer a lot of questions about what we need to do employee-wise that I would really have no other answer to. And from that, even though he's not a concrete guy, he knows more about business than probably 98% of all of my clients who are concrete guys.
Now, how have the coaching calls helped you with the hiring process in terms of learning how to run and launch your Indeed ads? Because I see a lot of business owners that struggle to recruit people. How has the coaching calls and the coaching program helped you to effectively learn how to launch and run Indeed ads or the entire hiring process, really?
One of the biggest things about getting going is just the fear of starting. Once you start, if you have little questions or things, you have a resource to go to answer those unknowns. So instead of being afraid of them, you can just say, okay, I'm going to do this. And they just help you with the little details over top of it.
Now, how have the coaching calls helped you with managing your staff? I know, we manage internally, we manage hundreds of employees, but then our clients themselves, some clients I work with manage hundreds of employees, and some clients I work with manage 15 employees. Some manage dozens of employees. How have the weekly coaching calls helped you to learn how to effectively manage your team?
The coaching calls help ground you in the business principles, take a lot of the emotion out of it. Most situations with employees is cut and dry and wrong or right. As employers, we get emotionally involved and are afraid to do that. But when you hear somebody like Andrew as my coach tell me, no, this is what needs to happen, it's like, okay, this is what needs to happen, because he has seen it how many ever times with all his other clients.
Now, working with Andrew, we want to help you create systems. Our coaching program, we want to help you make systems so that everything is documented, and over time making checklists and processes for everything. So that way, as your business scales, hypothetically, it's more systemized over time. How has working with our team helped you to build systems?
Well, one of the things that we learned is remove yourself from the business and see how well it functions without you. So it seems like every time I break my leg, my business goes without me, and it seems to function pretty well. So it helps everybody in the business be able to know what to do when nobody's looking over their shoulder.
Now, a part of the coaching process is it's that core repetitive, core repeatable, actionable processes. I call it the crap, but it's the messy middle. It's after the big new idea, the excitement about the new idea is gone. Somebody still has to follow up and do the core repeatable, actionable processes. How has that helped you on a weekly basis stay on track? Those core repeatable, actionable processes, after the excitement of the new ideas are gone.
Well, through the meetings helps me to realize that I am accountable to somebody. I answer to somebody. And so I go to my team and I hold them accountable so that I can make sure all of these things are done. So it just helps me to stay on top of making sure people are doing what they're doing instead of having to go in and take care of everything myself.
Okay, next question I have here for you. The coaching calls, a lot of our listeners, a lot of our longtime clients, if people go to thrivetimeshow.com, they can see thousands of customer success stories. A lot of my clients will tell me that they learned a lot about time management in the coaching program. I have one client right now. I've helped him to grow his business dramatically. He's on the verge of selling the company, and he says, "Hey, I'm going to keep hiring you as I look for my new business because I need someone to help me maximize my time and to stay efficient, even as I move into my new venture," even after he sells his company. Can you talk about time management and how the coaching calls have helped you with time management?
Well, this is one of my great struggles is the time management. And so I try and work on it more and more. And so by being able to have access to my coach, it helps me to formulate a plan and be able to keep my meetings and time management focused on what I need to do and not what other people want me to do.
How has the coaching calls helped you with your search engine optimization and generating more leads? I meet a lot of wonderful people that tell me, Clay, I would hire you guys for the coaching service if it didn't have the search engine optimization and the web development and the graphic design and the photography and all those services. But specifically, it's a flat rate. We charge $1,700 a month. It's all included. How much has that helped you in terms of growing your business with our in-house search engine optimization, web marketing, online ad management team?
100%. People find us now. When I met you, I didn't even have a website. And the first thing you said was, we have to do Google. I just sighed. It was so distant to me. And now I can't even imagine running this without what your team does for us in the back room.
Now, what's kind of interesting about our relationship, and it's been fun, is I co-founded Tip Top Canine Franchising. It's a dog training franchise. One of my longtime clients, Ryan and Rachel, started the company tiptopcanine.com, and I helped them to scale the business so that way it could franchise. So other people who are not Ryan and Rachel could go out there and buy a proven business model that works. And you guys elected to open up a Tip Top Canine right there in Utah. Your family, you and your whole family opened up a Tip Top Canine franchise together. How big of a role did you, having previously worked with our coaching program, how big of an impact, I guess, or how much of a decision, how much did that weigh into your decision to buy a Tip Top, knowing that we would be implementing the same systems that we've been implementing in your own company?
It was probably the biggest factor because it helped us to understand from the beginning, we're implementing all of the business principles in our concrete pumping. So when we were exposed to Tip Top, we already understand a lot of the policies and practices, which makes it easy to go in. So we could hit the ground running at full speed because everybody on our team already knew what the Dream 100 was, what the Google was, why reviews are important, why search engine optimization, all of that. And it was a huge part of why we decided to do that, because we want to use that as a platform to even get more tip tops. And we feel that through your systems with that tip top would provide us that opportunity.
You know, my father, he had Lou Gehrig's disease. May he rest in peace. And before he passed away, though, my wife and I, we organized kind of a going away party for him so that all the people in his life that mattered to him could all come and say nice things about him while he was still alive. And my dad told me that was like the highlight for him, was hearing that. And I know a guy like Andrew, you know, he's a very diligent guy. He stays focused every day on growing your business. Every single morning we meet at 6 a.m. in our coaches meeting to go over any burning fires or any issues or any areas how we can help. If we ever have a business owner that's stuck, whether it be the Tip Top canine franchises that we coach or whether it be our non-Tip Top canine franchises or businesses that we work with. And I know he's committed to helping you grow your business. What would you say about the impact that Andrew himself has made as a result of him teaching you the systems and holding you guys accountable on a weekly basis?
Oh, Andrew's been great. You know, there's a big age disparity between Andrew and I, but he's never been afraid to, if there's something, he finds out if we don't know. But the other thing, he's been a great example to my kids, that all my kids work in my business by their choice, that you don't have to be an old stodgy guy like me to understand business principles. They're the same. And so his influence on me and my organization is generational, literally.
So just to be clear, I mean, knowing that the business systems that we had in place, working with you with your cannon pumps business, those principles, you knowing that those principles and systems would be used at Tip Top Canine, that was a big motivating factor for you.
Yes, huge, probably the biggest factor.
And what would you, again, I talk to people all the time. I'm not bashing other franchises, but I talk to people all the time that come to our conferences, and you've been to our conferences, and people will come to me and they go, man, I bought a franchise of this company or that company where there's no weekly coaching. You know, you come, they train you on how to do the skill or how to buy the business. And then they go back to their local hometown and they feel like they're just floundering. And they have like a monthly call where somebody checks in with you, but there's no weekly accountability. What do you think would happen to your Tip Top location if there wasn't Andrew or somebody like that pushing you guys on a weekly basis to grow?
It would go sideways quick. We'd be doing the wrong things at the wrong time for the wrong reasons. And because it would be more emotion based. And our phone call with Andrew, it keeps focused on the things that we need to accomplish to make it a franchise, so that I'm not a business owner that wakes up every day and has to go in and deal with it.
Final question I have here for you. For anybody out there that's thinking about attending one of our in-person workshops or scheduling a 13-point assessment, I don't want to waste anybody's time because I only take on 160 clients, and I don't want to waste anybody's time because our conferences only can accommodate 100 folks at each one, and we want to make it very interactive. In your mind, what kind of person would benefit from our one-on-one coaching or the in-person workshops?
Somebody that has a business that wants to get to the next level, not sure what to do. Just for ideas alone, your workshop has so many things that you can implement into every level of the business and at least get your brain working towards being a business owner instead of the high paid employee you are.
Well, brother, I really do appreciate you hopping on the show here. Hopefully, we've benefited you greatly, and it's been awesome to get to know you over the years. And I wish you continued success. Thank you for carving out time for us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Okay,
bye.
See ya.
The Thrive Time Show, 2-day interactive business workshops, are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this